Pleased to welcome now UFC bantamweight Jesse Strader, who's up against Mana Martinez on the Cannonier versus Costa card in August. Jesse, great to see you, mate. How's everything going over there?
Everything is good, man. How's it going with you?
Yeah, really good, really good. We're out in Asia over here. Good to speak to you for the first time. This is seemingly an important one for you. You know, he's 8-2. You're welcoming him to the UFC. How does that feel? How confident are you heading into this one?
It feels good, man. It feels good to have a full camp. So that's something I didn't get yet, but actually, this is more time than I ever got. So I'm really excited for this one.
How's it been in terms of booking fights, uncertainty? Are you pleased just to be getting back in that octagon with there's a lot of fights been falling through in the last year or so?
100%, man. Like, it's actually a fairly quick turnaround. It's a good turnaround for me. So I'm pretty excited, man. I love to stay busy. I'm always training, so it feels good.
Your UFC debut didn't get off to the best start. How do you look back on that one going into this one? How do you put that behind you? You were on a 2-fight win streak before that in combat.
Yeah. So I keep a short memory whether I win or lose. At the end of the day, I love this journey that I'm on. So at the end of the day, I'm blessed to be chasing this dream and fighting on the stage that I am. And like I said, man, keep that short memory.
What's the most important thing for you to prove in this fight? Bantamweight seems like one of the most exciting divisions right now. So every time there's a 135 fight, everyone's out there looking to make a statement. Is that important to you, making a big statement, or are you just caring about the win right now?
100%, man. I want to go out there and just put on a performance like I know I can. So for sure, it definitely, like, that's my main focus, is going out there and showing out and putting the world on notice, man. Nobody got to see me in the first one, and I'm gonna let it be shown in this one.
Your nickname's Sui Generis, if I'm pronouncing that right. So that
Yeah,
means
that
kind
is.
of
That's right, man.
yeah, so unique or kind of their own ilk. You know, how did you get that nickname? Who gave that to you, and how does that kind of manifest itself in the octagon for you?
Man, so I came across that. It's a Latin term, and it means only one of its kind, class of its own. And I came across that. I think it was in high school, and I just thought it was really cool. It really stuck out to me. It really stuck with me. And so when I started my MMA career, and then I started doing the amateurs, people were coming up with nicknames, and it's like a lot of cookie cutter nicknames. And I just didn't want that, man. I didn't want a nickname that somebody already had, and I didn't want one that was gonna be easy or predictable. And so I remembered that. I remember Sui Generis, and I remember it meant, it basically means unique. It basically means the only one of its kind. So I was like, man, I like that. I like that. I feel like I'm a very hybrid style MMA fighter. I can adjust very well to multiple things. So I feel like it speaks well for me and who I am.
How important is that top 15 for you? How much of an eye have you got on those rankings and kind of your way to break in?
Man, honestly, I'm just glad to have a full camp and a fight ahead of me. I'm gonna worry about those rankings when I get there, but I just want to get out and get some performances, get some performance of the night. I want to get some knockouts of the night, some finishes of the night, whatever it is. I just want to get out there, get some octagon ring time, and get better and have fun doing what I love, man. I love fighting, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Why do you love fighting? What is it about the sport that gets you?
Man, I think probably the main thing I love about fighting is it's all on you out there. So it's all about the work and effort that you put in. So I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it helps to have people in your corner, and it helps to have people on your team. But like, if there's a will, there's a way, and that's kind of like that aspect I like. It's one on one, and you could either make a mistake and pay for it, or you could come out on top. It's a high risk, high reward, or high risk, low reward type of game. And I like that. I like that high risk, high reward.
So I mean, in Martinez, he won his last couple in the first round with punches. How much of him have you seen? Do you leave that to your coaches? Do you like to study opponents? How big of a test do you see him as for you?
Yeah, it's a big test. Definitely big test. I'm excited for it. He's a knockout artist. He's got a lot of knockouts in like the first round and everything. So I'm looking at it as a good test, as a good challenge. Whenever the better somebody is, the better I perform. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I do study. I do study, but right now at this point, it's all my coaches doing the studying, and then I'm gonna be checking them out and adjusting to what I have to.
It's interesting because you do a bit of coaching yourself, right? I've seen you've been training Aaron Carter for his boxing match with Lamar Odom.
Yeah, man, I'm not training him no more. That guy, I don't know. He's got a few issues, but yeah, no, it was fun, man. I was training him. I was trying to help him out. He's not big on the training aspect of things, so I leave it to the people that want to train.
What do you make of this whole phenomenon? Everything I read right now is about celebrities boxing MMA fighters. Everything. It's overtaking. What do you make of it? Are you into it, or do you find it annoying? What do you think of everything going on right now?
Honestly, yeah, that's a good question. That's interesting because yeah, I've been thinking the same thing. Everywhere I look, everywhere I turn, it's a YouTuber or a celebrity boxing match going down. And at first I wasn't into it. I was like, this is not real fighting. But you know what I think it's doing? I think it's bringing some attention to I think it's actually bringing attention to MMA and kind of putting some heat on like the fighter pay and whatever. I have no complaints right now, but I think that it could be a positive push into like the fighters just getting paid more, just because they're seeing how much the celebrity boxing matches are making. And then they kind of, I mean, nobody wants to be the guy not paying anybody. Nobody wants to be that. So I think that this will bring some positive things at the end of it. But as the fights for themselves, I'm not a big fan. I think it's just like a circus.
Do you see it as Tyron Woodley representing MMA or representing the UFC? Because we've seen him get some incredible knockouts in his career, but sometimes it doesn't work out like that. Do you think boxing is different enough of a sport whereby he might not be able to deliver like he did when he was in his prime? He's one of the best welterweights ever, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that I could see him having trouble, but I think with who he's fighting, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be able to take care of business for sure. Now if it was like I don't know, some crazy decorated boxer, then it might be different. It's a different sport for sure, different range, different tactics. But I think he's got a level up. He's definitely a level above this competition on this for sure, at least one level.
There's so many different exciting martial arts, out here in Asia. Of course, we have Muay Thai, Letway. American wrestling culture is so big in America, and I think other nations, and of course Dagestan, are kind of picking it up and realizing how essential it is to succeed in MMA. Which disciplines are your favorite, and which excite you the most?
I'm a big fan. Honestly, oh man, dude, I love them all. Honestly, I truly love wrestling. I truly love jujitsu. I truly love, and I got this new, I've fallen in love with boxing, the sport of it. I study it, and it's totally different than MMA. I love it. I respect it. But recently I've been, after working with my new, my legendary kickboxing coach, I have this for sure new passion for kickboxing and Muay Thai and a mixture of karate and Taekwondo and just all of the arts of the hands and the feet. I've really grown a huge passion and respect for that through my like legendary coach, Sugarfoot Pete Cunningham. And but honestly, dude, like I love every aspect of MMA. That's why I think it's so perfect for me. Like if I only love to box, I would just box.
Do you see yourself as a pure MMA fighter then? Because I feel like in the first wave of MMA fighters, yeah, that's what it was, right? You had a jiu-jitsu guy, you had a boxer, you had a karate guy, taekwondo guy. But maybe we're in the first real generation of guys who were just born into MMA from like the age of 12. Do you see yourself like that, pure MMA fighter?
Yeah, absolutely. That was me. That was me. Like once I started watching the UFC and MMA when I was like junior high, 7th, 8th grade, totally fell in love with that. I liked boxing. I watched boxing, but it wasn't like that wasn't I wasn't interested in just boxing. But when I saw MMA and I saw the UFC, the early day UFC fights, I was like, man, I got to get into this. And then at the time, it was like the wrestlers were doing well at the time I was watching. So I was like, oh, well, you got to wrestle. You got to at least have wrestling. And then it was like, oh, dude, these guys are knocking everyone out. You got to have And then it's like, okay, you got to have everything. And now I keep telling everybody, the kids, the people that are kids right now in 2021, they're gonna be insane, dude. They're gonna be pulling stuff off that hasn't even been thought up of yet. Like I see these little kids, they're killers in my gym, man. And they're only like 9, 10, 12. Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, actually, I saw a quote from Peter Yan that in school, like he used to, let's say, I think if I'm getting it right, he had 6 classes, and between each class he would have a fight, which I just thought was something different. In terms of that bantamweight division, who excites you? You know, we've got Jan Sterling. There's a lot of talent going around, both veteran and up and coming. Who really do you respect? Who excites you at the top of the division right now? Do you have a dream fight in a year or so's time?
Man, dude, I have so many dream fights. I have a lot of respect for the top 10 and top 15. Honestly, a lot of respect for those guys because it does take a lot. Man, honestly, dream fight. I've always looked up to Dominick Cruz. Man, I would love to fight Dominick Cruz. Obviously, I gotta get some fights under my belt. This is just me saying how I feel, but that obviously the veteran Frankie Edgar, dude, it would be amazing just to mix it up with a guy like that. And those are like the 2 veterans, and then obviously I want to test my skills against all the other tough guys, man. It's a stacked weight class, and I'm excited to be a part of it, and I'm excited to get in there, get a few fights under my belt, and start making some moves, making some things happen.
Begins again in August, man. Very excited to see you fight again. Nice one, Jesse. You're the man. Cheers.
Hey, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you.